If you are a parent and fear has been heavy on your heart, if the uncertainties about your children's future have been stealing your sleep, and the worries about what could happen are robbing your peace, stay with me for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs and ease the tension you've been carrying. And as you exhale, feel God's presence drawing near. Today, we will meditate on Psalm 91, a refuge for all who feel insecure, and a living promise of protection for you, your children, and your whole family. Even when everything around you feels out of control. Before we continue, write in the comments, "Lord, guard my family and teach me to trust in you." He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This is the promise for those who choose to take refuge in God. As a parent, you carry so many concerns. You want to protect your children from danger, illness, wrong choices, and the pain the world can bring. But often, you feel powerless in the face of it all. It is in that moment that this promise becomes alive. Because dwelling in the secret place of God is learning to trust even when your eyes see uncertainty, even when your heart fears the future. God becomes the shield that goes before you, and the shadow that covers your home, protecting you and your family from what you cannot control. If you desire this protection today, write in the comments, "Lord, I choose to dwell in your secret place with my family." As a parent, you do everything to protect your children. You care, advise, guide. But there comes a point where control slips from your hands. It is at that point that prayer becomes your greatest weapon. When you place every detail of your children's lives into God's hands, every decision, every friendship, every path they will follow, say sincerely, "Lord, I place my children in your hands. Guide each of their steps and cover them with your protection and grace every day." When you surrender, the weight you carried begins to lift, and God's peace enters, showing that He cares far better than any parent ever could. If you want to place your children in God's hands today, write in the comments, "Lord, care for my children and guide each of their steps." When you trust in God, your heart finds rest. Even when the world feels threatening, even when the news and circumstances try to stir fear. Trusting in God does not erase challenges, but it changes the way you face them, because you understand that you are not alone, and there is a God who watches over you and your family day and night. This trust gives you strength to smile more, to sleep in peace, and to remember that above all, your children are under a care greater than yours. Say sincerely, "Lord, teach me to trust in your care and to rest, knowing my family is safe in you." If you want to learn to trust more and fear less, write in the comments, Lord, increase my trust and take away all fear from my heart. In Psalm 91, God promises something powerful. He says He will deliver those who trust in Him, that He will send His angels to guard our way, and that no plague, no evil, and no danger will overcome those who live under His protection. These words are not just poetry. They are living promises for you to declare over your home and your children. To remind yourself every day that there is a divine covering over your family. Say sincerely, Lord, I declare your promise of Psalm 91 over my home. May your angels guard my children, and may no evil reach our family. When you declare, your faith is strengthened, and God's presence becomes even more real in your home. If you desire to live under these promises, write in the comments, Lord, cover my home with your protection and send your angels. The promise of Psalm 91 is not just to be read, it is to be lived. And one way to live that promise is to make prayer a daily habit for your family. Set aside a moment, even a short one, to read a passage of the Psalm and declare out loud, Lord, guard my home, protect my children, and cover our family with your presence today. When this becomes part of your routine, fear begins to lose ground, and God's peace becomes constant inside your home, because it is not just a reading, it is a way to remind yourself daily that you are not alone, and that the Creator is taking care of everything. If you want to build this habit in your home, write in the comments, Lord, help me keep my family always in prayer. God's protection is not just physical, it also reaches the hearts and minds of your children, because often the greatest danger is not outside, but inside, in the emotions, influences, and thoughts that try to steal peace. When you pray through Psalm 91, you ask not only for safety from visible dangers, but also for spiritual and emotional protection, so your children may have inner peace, strength to make good choices, and wisdom to recognize what does not come from God. Say sincerely, Lord, guard the hearts and minds of my children. Deliver them from all visible and invisible harm, and fill them with your peace and wisdom. If you desire this complete protection for your family, write in the comments, Lord, guard the bodies, minds, and hearts of my family. As a parent, you want to control everything. You want to prevent every pain and every danger. But there are things beyond your reach. It is in that place that trusting in God becomes essential, because He sees what you do not see, protects where you cannot be, and takes care of every detail. That escapes your hands. When you rest in this truth, anxiety loses power, and peace begins to fill your heart, even when the world around you is still challenging. Say sincerely, Lord, I rest in your care, and I trust that you are watching over my family at all times. If you want to learn to rest in God, write in the comments, Lord, I choose to trust in you and rest in your protection. When God's presence fills your home, the atmosphere changes. Anxiety gives way to peace. Fear loses strength. And even the hardest moments become bearable. The promise of Psalm 91 is that God will be your refuge, and His presence will be like a protective shadow over your home. That presence does not depend on walls or buildings. It is wherever it is welcomed and where there is faith. When you seek that presence, your home stops being just a physical space and becomes a place of spiritual and emotional safety for you, your children, and everyone who lives there. Say sincerely, Lord, fill my home with your presence and transform our house into a place of peace and refuge. If you desire God's presence to dwell in your home, write in the comments, Lord, be the peace and refuge of my home. Faith does not eliminate hardships, but it changes how you face each one, because when your trust in God is greater than your fear, you find courage to keep moving forward, even when you do not have all the answers. Psalm 91 reminds us that God is our shield and fortress, that He delivers us from danger and sustains us in times of trouble. This promise is not just for calm days, it is for the days when everything seems to fall apart. When you choose to live by faith, you remind your heart that you are not alone, and that even when the winds blow fiercely, there is a God who holds you and cares for your family. Say, sincerely, Lord, strengthen my faith and help me face each day with courage and hope. If you want to face your fears with faith today, write in the comments, Lord, increase my faith and give me courage to continue when your children see your faith in action. They too learn to trust in God. They notice that even on hard days, there is a source of safety that does not come from this world. The way you handle fear and anxiety teaches your children. If they see you trusting in God, they learn. They can seek that same refuge when they grow up, and that His peace is real and available to all who trust. Passing on faith is not about hard words. It is about example, about praying with them, about showing there is a God who cares for every detail. Say sincerely, Lord, help me teach my children to trust in you and to experience your peace from an early age. If you want your children to grow firm in faith, write in the comments, Lord, help me pass on your peace and faith to my children. Lord, today I place my family in your hands. Each child, each detail I cannot control, and every worry that has been weighing on my heart. I choose to trust that you are our refuge, that your presence is our shield, and that no uncertainty is greater than your care. May our home be filled with your peace. May our days be guided by your hand, and may our hearts learn to rest in you. If this prayer spoke to your heart, write in the comments, "Lord, I place my family in your hands." And subscribe to the channel to keep receiving prayers that bring peace and protection to your home every day.